Welcome to the USRN webinar series. My name is Mariko Adachi, Program-Specific Senior Lecturer from the International Strategy Office of Kyoto University. I am very honored to be a moderator for this webinar. Today is the third time of the series, and my dear colleague, Dr. Paola Zanoni, is going to offer a presentation titled Engaged Research in Kyoto University, Global, Regional, and Local Experiences. Before inviting Dr. Paola, I would like to inform you of the structure of this webinar with some remarks. This webinar is 1 hour long in total, and the presentation is about 30 minutes. After the presentation, we would like to have a 15-minute Q&A session. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A icon at the bottom of the meeting window to type your questions. We will not be able to use the chat feature for Q&A. Sorry for our inconvenience. And lastly, this webinar is being recorded, as you might have not been aware, and the recording will be made available on the website of the USR network. Okay, shall we get started the presentation, Dr. Paola? The floor is yours.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for gathering tonight. I'm going to make a presentation about the experiences on research with USR related projects at Kyoto University. So if you let me share my screen. It just takes a second. And now you are looking into my screen. So I'm honored to represent Kyoto University tonight in the USRN webinar series, webinar number 3, Engage Research in Kyoto University, Global, Regional, and Local Experiences. Kyoto University is the second oldest university in Japan, and it's guiding research-oriented and comprehensive education, higher education. University has a main characteristic of academic freedom and shares a tradition of pioneering fieldwork in Japan and in Southeast Asia. One of the principles of collaboration is the globally engaged cooperation that it holds with its partners. And among the many medals that university has, the most significant one is the field work that we are going to talk today. This, excuse me, I'm having, here we are. This kanji that you are looking at is read as Jicho-kei, GK. From 1897, it means self-reliance and self-respect. This calligraphy was given by Professor Hiroji Kinoshita, the founding president of Kyoto University, and it sets a distinctive tone for the life and ways of university, encouraging initiative and trust within a socially engaged context. Kyoto University is a national university, and it places particular emphasis on its traditions of academic freedom, as I was telling you just before, and self-reliant learning. In his speech at the university official opening ceremony, the first president of Kyoto University 125 years ago, Hiroshi Kinoshita, he described his vision of the ideal university, emphasizing that it should have a unique character, academic freedom, and an educational system centered on the students' autonomy. This characteristic allowed us students, as professors, to address our ideas towards what we believe. And it makes the university a unique place as an opportunity for do research. And here I'm speaking even for myself. Today's presentation has 3 parts. The first one, I'm going to talk about global experiences. I want to tell you that I have chosen some of the projects of university. There are so many, it has been very difficult to have a criteria to make a selection. But with the help of my college, we focus on sharing global, regional, and local experiences, and just a few. I added some QR codes. So if you are interested to go a little deeper on the projects, you just can please get your phone close and go straight into the links that are informative for the purpose. So the first part of presentation is about global experiences. I'm going to present 2 projects of we are expecting to have global impact. Those are mainly from the year 2020, which has been a very challenging year because of the pandemic that hit into the current system of higher education. Second is about regional experiences, and I have chosen a particularly fieldwork in Africa that I think is significant for these days. And we will finish with some local experiences that were given in Japanese language with intention to impact within Japan. But also now we are working on translation so we can share the knowledge. USR experiences that we have presented before are listed here in those 9 examples. I just have randomly chosen the ones that were more impressive. This is from the course that we presented in EDX courses, the MOOC courses last year. So this year we're coming with some more. Let's start with the global part. I want to show you a short video about what is the project named Kyoto ASEAN Virtual Fields. This project has been managed by Kyoto U ASEAN Center, one of our offices overseas, located actually in Bangkok, but operating worldwide from their facilities. This Center Virtual Fields website provides video teaching and materials using aerial drone photography and VR images to capture the forest, the oceans, large-scale infrastructure construction sites, and experimental facilities on the university's overseas partner schools. And some of them have different approaches towards somehow a help from the fieldwork. Because of the limitations of traveling and mobility, this has been one of very important tool for connecting with people overseas and keep on sharing knowledge. So just let me play this for you. And I will show you as well as the video works. So you can see a small hand that is going to show there. That is my hand. So I'm moving in the software to show you with a VR cam what is around. So this has been an experience recorded by our colleagues in Kyoto U ASEAN Center. So this is a dam, and it's a visit to the dam, a virtual visit to the dam. You can see the level of detail. I'm still moving. You can see the level of detail of the images. So this website that you can have access through the QR shows you different fields of work. This is another video from a different field. What professor is going to do here is to show an experiment online. It's going to take a sample and it's going to show. So this virtual center can be reached from nearly anywhere in the world with internet connection. And it allows anybody to have access to these lessons. They are not closed to the university students, but they are open. Some of them have the format of documentaries. Like you can see, it has even a translation at the bottom where It's spoken in Japanese. I just put in silent so you can hear me. And then there is the other kind, the other modality of the VR, which is the experimental VR, when the camera gets immersed into the situation. Please, if you have the chance, go into the QR and you will see many more videos of this. This is a show of the ocean in Iriomote Island, which is the south of Japan, in Kyushu. So it's identifying certain species that are rare and unique. And you can find, this is the face, this is how it looks on the website. You just have to do the QR, and then right after you can see a variety of videos in all the fields of science that participate on it. This is the second project I want to share with you. It's Corona Chronicles. These voices from the field appear as at a very critical moment of the pandemic. This is supported by the Center for Southeast Asian Studies, and it's a platform which aims to present the latest research findings from different countries and regions on how coronavirus is affecting individuals, communities, and nations. And it goes the reactions toward what's going on. This series provides accessible, clear, and very easy access for a global readership. So it's an academic-based presentation, but it's a chronicle, so it's very easy to read for people from different ages at different moments of their careers. Corona Chronicles provides a comparative regional perspective through a diversity of opinions and observations, and presents a unique insight into what is happening across the regions. It's a free divulgation material. Anybody can have access to it. And it has the mission of informing, because on the beginning of the pandemic, one of the biggest challenges was to conduct the right information. So please sign, you can use the QR code there, and you can read the stories from different parts of Southeast Asia and the surrounding regional areas. It's actually not close to Southeast Asia. You can see there are countries such as Brazil, Peru, that are not, Mexico, that are not within Southeast Asia, but still are sharing the information from the field, what's going on from the field. Now, I would like to move into Africa. This is a sort of 3 projects from a regional perspective, and what Kyoto University is doing on collaborative research in Africa. Let me show you. Please, first, I want to say thank you to the professors who are probably looking through now and help me to build this presentation. This works a little bit like an interview. Professors cannot be here right now, but this video speaks on their thoughts.
動植物、自然への関心から人への関心、そして今、この新しい時代では、人々が直面しているさまざまな問題にどのような答えが出せるかという、そういう方向に進もうとしています。京都大学のアフリカ研究の特徴は、何か新しいものを持ち込む。アフリカに、ものを教えるという立場ではなくて、アフリカから学ぶ。アフリカにすでにそこにあるものをうまく利用して、活用して、アフリカの人たちと一緒に、何かより良い暮らしを求めていかないかというふうに考えるところにあるんだと思っています。
So before I start on telling you some more about the projects in Africa, I would like to start by a question that touched me when I was doing my search at university. One of the professors, very committed, asked to the people in Kenya, what is a road for you? What does it mean, a road for you? Most of us here connected now and talking, we are part of very urban areas. We live in urban areas, we work in urban areas. But when you go to a rural area and you ask to somebody who has not been living in an urban area, what is a road for you? What do they say? And they say many words, of course, of the meaning, but if you read this, people answer that a road is life, a road is access, a road is to see friends, a road is like water, so it's essential for living. And to attend to that need, one of the professors works directly in Kenya for so many years. Professor Kimura was working, utilizing African potential. So I am going to present a short video.
Not less than 10 plus. Yun, Marangal. Marapul.
町へ続く唯一の道を直す住民たち。この道が通れなければ、学校や病院、市場に農作物を売りに行くこともできません。悪路が貧困を生んでいる小さな村が世界に無数にあります。
アフリカの大陸ではだいたい 80% 以上が土の道になっています。で、土の道は雨が降ってドロドロになったり、スタックしたりとかするんですが、それを地域の住民の人は自分たちでは絶対に直せないと思っています。難しい。道路は直すのは難しい。自分たちではできない。で、それを私どもが言って、住民の人に全く機械を使うに簡単な方法である。で、そのために使っている材料が土のう袋という袋の中に土を入れて、それを木槌で固めて、硬い土のう袋にして、それを地面に引いて、上から上に車が通れるようにするという活動をやっています。
工学研究家で地盤研究を専門とする木村誠教授は、住民たちが自分たちの力で道を補修できる方法が住民の生活を支えると考えています。
学校にも小さな子供でも行けるし、朝要するに新鮮な野菜を市場に運ぶこともできるし、病院にも簡単に行くことができる。それで生活が楽になったとか、良くなったとか、また経済的に発展することもありますね。それとやったらできるという意識が住民の中に広がるということですね。その道直しによって住民の人が意識がちょっと変わって、持続的な発展に結びつけられればいいかなと思っています。
So in this project, local people it all started by local people believing that they could do it because they didn't think that they were capable to do it. But Professor and his team came and they changed their minds, and it's where it all started. That's amazing from this project. Now, I would like to introduce you to a second project in a kind of a similar structure. This is the Professor Oyama, who's actually still in Ghana. He's working there. He worked with the local people in West Africa for soil rehabilitation. Let me show you a little bit of the project.
砂漠化が進む西アフリカのサヘル地域。土地が荒廃し、食料不足などさまざまな問題を引き起こしてきました。ここで人々が生ゴミを荒廃した土地に捨てる習慣を生かして土壌の回復に取り組んでいるのが大山修一准教授です。
砂漠化というのは土地の生産力が落ちることを言うんですけど、その砂漠化のメカニズムと、人々の知識、在来知識を使って環境の修復の、仕事をしています。そこの現地に住み込んで、その人々の生活を学ぶという姿勢を大事にしながら、一方でゴミをまいてどういうふうに植物が生育してくるか、その植物の調査をしたりとか、あるいは土壌が変わって、その土壌の養分がどういうふうに変化するのかっていうのを、日本にサンプルを持ち帰ってきて実験室で、化学分析をするというようなことにします。 で、食料不足に人々は苦しんでいて、で、その貧困がゆえに、テロが発生したり、内戦が起きたりということが、深刻な問題になっています。都市に溜まったゴミを、荒廃地に持ってきて環境の修復をする。それは都市の衛生状態を改善することでもあって、一方で農村では食料の安全供給であったりとか、あるいは農耕民と牧畜民の紛争予防をしたりというように、社会の安定のために貢献していきたいというふうに思っています。
So in this project, Professor Oyama from the Graduate School of Asian and African Area Studies took advantage of the people's habit of throwing garbage in the devastated land to rehabilitate the soil and provide a sustainable source. And that is what makes it remarkable. So I have one more project to show you within the region that I think was also impressive. Yeah. This project is the project of Murayama Sensei. Professor Murayama has over 20 years working in the area, and she studied this little rodent who's considered a delicacy in Ghana. Let's talk to her through the video.
大型の野生ネズミ、グラスカッター。この動物を飼育、繁殖させることで、ガーナ人のタンパク質不足を補い、また、狩猟による生態系の変化を防いで、野生動物の保全につなげようという取り組みを行っているのが、村山美穂教授です。
グラスカッターのその遺伝子を調べることによって、それをマウスとかラットとか、よく研究が進んでいる動物の遺伝情報と比較することで、その懐きやすさだとか、そのたくさん子供を産むとか、そういった有利な性質に関する遺伝子の持っている個体を選抜していくのに役立てることができますし、そのグラスカッターの腸の内容物の遺伝子を調べることによって、どの季節にどんな植物を食べれるかっていったような情報も分かります。でそうやって飼育を広めながら、小学校とか中学校とかでその野生動物の保全についてとか、それから栄養バランスの良い食事、特に動物性タンパク質が不足している地域なので、そういった栄養バランスについての講義も行ったりしていまして、そういったことを積み重ねていくことによって、地域の人たちにその野生動物を保全するということが広まっていけば、私たちのその野生動物研究センターの使命としても果たせていけるんじゃないかというふうに思っています。
Professor Murayama is having a workshop tomorrow, December the 10th, precisely about the grasscutter and the administration of several projects that are liaised with this tiny little animal and how it influences into the development of the area. So now I would like to talk a little bit about what makes these projects remarkable regarding to the content of the interaction with the local people far away from Kyoto University, and how that brings knowledge and excellence to the research that we produce.
京都大学の研究者たち。そこにはある共通点があります。
今日、京都大学ではさまざまな地域分野でアフリカ研究が行われているんですけれど、その共通の特徴はフィールドワークです。地元に赴いて比較的長い間、地元の人たちに寄り添って暮らす。そういった経験の中から研究のデータを集めていくという手法なんですね。そういった中で、人々の直面する困難にももちろん目を向けます。この困難を解決するための既存の学問だけではなくて、地元のことを深く理解しているというフィールドワーカーの目から何かできないか。
そういう観点からも研究の分野は広がっています。
愛する。
Yes, and so we made it now to the last part of our presentation, speaking about local experiences. The experiences I'm going to present now are designed for being spread in Japanese language. We implemented some translation in there to share the idea and see, this is again us interviewing the professor who's running the project. Let me see. This project is named Stop and Think. If you go to the QR and you find the videos on YouTube, you may see that it's translated as "Let's us think radically." So which of the translations is more accurate? I would say it depends on the message. But the literal translation will be "Stop and Think." And now by playing the video, I will tell you why.
2020年の4月ですね。だから第1回の非常事態宣言が出る。その頃は学校も全部閉まってました。そういった日本国中その学びの機会が失われる。そういう環境下の中で学びの場をやはり一つ提供しないといけない。
毎週末ですね、土日に1コマ1時間ぐらいのオンライン講義ですね、YouTube ライブ、Twitter ライブで申し込み不要で無料で誰でもクリックすればすぐ見られると。人文社会科学系の先生方にコロナパンデミックに関係したテーマでお話しいただくようにお願いしています。YouTube のチャット欄でも質問とかコメントをいただくようにしまして、だいたい40分ぐらい先生に講義いただいて、残りの20分を質疑応答に当てると。皆さん本当に真剣に主張しておられると。で、先生方もやっぱり本当に切迫した思いで講義をされていると。熱気というものを非常に強く感じましたね。
具体的な解決ソリューションは人文学は提供できませんけれども、今後どうしたらいいのか、じゃあどういう社会をもう一度作り直していくのか、そういう価値観の根本から考え直す。でそれは人文学というのはまさに価値の学問ですから、いろんな座標軸がいろんな形で、人類が生み出したものがこれまで蓄積されてきた。それをやっぱり示すことが我々やってる使命だろうと思っています。立ち止まって考えた後は今度は自分の足でもう一度歩み出すしかないわけですよね。我々としては21世紀型の教養というものをやっぱ再構築していくという、そういう大きな一つのツールという形で、定着していく可能性があるなと考えています。
So this project is it's a program of open online lectures that had the particular result of concentrating a lot of the Japanese audience in a very dynamic way. If you have the opportunity to look for some of the videos on the QR, the most popular ones are related to ethics, values, and to rethink the ways post-pandemic. And these are in a free access, and you can share your friends as well. And the lessons aim to provide with a perspective to think broadly and deeply and to yourself. The first lesson is named after thinking about yourself as well, and it's a deep meaning of the philosophy of thinking about one in the world. And they are mostly within the topics of the humanities and the thinking. And as I said, the most interesting part of the project is how people end discussing among themselves of the topics that are discussed into the classroom. Now let's go to a very funny part of my presentation where we're going to see the students' initiatives. There are 3 projects of the students that I'm going to present today. They are from L'Ecole de Kyodai, which is a group that studies different topics about sustainable development. One of those topics is related to food loss revolution. They call it everyone's Food Loss Revolution. That's the name of the project. And you can see that picture where the students, some of them are undergrad students, some others are postgrad students, and they name themselves Kyoto University Senior Rangers. So what they do is they want to make people aware of the food loss and what small changes we can do to make our way more sustainable. Food loss is the thrown away, even food that could have been used in a different way or could have been eaten to avoid the leftover or to avoid the cookover. And this is the campaign that they are taking. So in this picture, this is one of the events that they organize. This is an exhibition, and they invite different enterprises to be part of it, local enterprises to be part of it, and to spread the message of what are we doing, making us to think if there is any better that we can do. They organize presentations, workshops, sport events. They are everywhere. They make parties. And can you see in the picture that white robot? It's named Pepper. And in Japan, is promoted by SoftBank, which is a mobile communications company. So they are supporting the information that Pepper can display. Pepper is a robot that interacts with people with such as facility, and it has a front panel where it displays different messages. In the second picture, you can see the silhouettes of an animal, a cow sitting at the table, a girl, and a boy that represents the universe. So what they do is to sit people in front and talk about it and experiment what they feel about it. So it's a very interesting project for raising awareness. Now, let's go to the second project. This project is named My Bottle Dance, and it's made for the sustainable use of plastics. This project is a group of students that go to different parts, as you can see in the pictures. They go to sports fieldworks, they go to the gyms, they go to companies, they visit recycling enterprises, they go to agro exporters and agro producer locals, they go to the water companies. And what they want is to make people aware of the use of plastic bottles. In Japan, it's very easy to get a bottle of any kind of drink in self-dispense machines. So you just put a coin and it comes to your bottle. But then what happened to those bottles? So that's what they are trying to do. And they have a very particular way to do it. So let me introduce to My Bottle Dance.
私たちはエコールと兄弟です。おはよう朝だよ素敵なこと待ってる今日は何を入れようかなマイボトルに何入れよう水にしようかなお茶にしようかなコーヒーもジュースもいいなマキボトルにときめきていていてマキボトルとときめきていていてマキボトルからときめきていていて準備だった最高おはようございます。
So you see, I'm going to put the volume a little down so we can talk. But basically, they visited this company and then they go to another company and the companies will introduce themselves, the name of the company and who's the person speaking, and then they will start the dance. And this comes into a video and they share on the social networks. And there are all kinds of companies supporting, most of them, the ones that are working toward the sustainable development goals. This visit that you're looking at is a laboratory. This is another company, local companies. So everybody can be part of the awareness. If you see the images, everybody is carrying their own bottles. They are not bottles given for the purpose, they are their own bottles. They are there, that's a recycling company, a local recycling company. And yeah, they are having their own bottles as well. So they are a transportation company, and the same, you can see they are personalized. So it's a very particular way to raise awareness. I think this is a company that sells lettuces, organic lettuces. Yeah. So yeah, that is about. This is the third project, also powered by students. It's named the Super SDGs Sustainability Talk, SDGs Today and Tomorrow. So what this campaign does is, through a channel that they got on the YouTube, which is an open channel, they make the effort for communicating to most of the different audiences for the SDGs, and to tell what is the meaning of each of them. In different environments, we talk about SDGs and we talk about sustainability, but there is a lot of people who are not completely aware of what SDG really means, or what each of the SDGs implies, and what can we do to support them. So this is the main purpose among the objectives of this project. So they want to make SDGs your own. They want people to think in a different way about how they make use of the things that we have around, or how do we do shopping, or how do we choose the products that we get to our homes. They want to reconsider the SDGs from a new perspective, and to learn about the post-corona challenges, because the world is changing, and it's changing very quickly, and we are running out of resources. And I'm not going to talk about that at this moment, but what this group of students wants is to raise awareness through short talks. Talks don't last, if you see into the screen, it's about 25 to 30 minutes. And they also promote the online chat and the discussion in between people online. It's all in Japanese language. They promote environmental friendliness, and they present each of the topics from the umbrella of sustainability. So you can get into the channel if you go through the QR code there, and there are the students doing the presentation. I'm not going to present the video here. I'm just going to show you the students there. You can see they're very young and they are full of passion, and it's very touching the way how they present them. Finally, I would like to present the website of Kyoto University about global university social responsibility. In this website, we also have a list of projects that we are updating. So soon you will have these projects in there too. We are working on it. And it shows the institutional approach toward university social responsibility. It also shows the partners for international development and the global initiatives and the sharing experiences of what our university is doing. So please, if you have the chance, go for the QR code and have a look into what we're doing. Thank you. That's it.
Dr. Paola, thank you very much for your presentation with rich information. The slides are full of interesting information, and I just want to make sure that you will kindly upload your presentation materials on the website of Kyoto University, no? Thank you very much. Now, I would like to move on to the Q&A session. At this moment, we haven't had any questions through a Q&A box, but if questions pop up right now, you can use the raise your hand function for questions if you have. Okay, let me ask you one question. I am a member of Kyoto University though. Yes, I know there are so many projects implemented globally, regionally, and locally, as you mentioned, and just like a treasure mountain, no? Through the process of collecting information on the project, how did you learn about something that you haven't known?
Well, first, I have to confess that it was very difficult to choose and to have an approach that wasn't that repetitive or that allowed the voice of the professors to be heard. So what I learned is that professors are very busy on their research and they are very interested to help and to contribute, and they are so committed to social development, and they are so committed to provide the thinking tools for their students to be involved into what they can achieve out of university. That sometimes they even lose space and time, and they are just doing what they do the best, which is conducting research and teaching students how to conduct research. So that's one of the things that I learned first. The second thing that I learned is that field work is not a job for anybody. It's a job for people who are truly committed from the inside, and it goes beyond science. Science made for the world development. It's a given science. It's a generous science, and some people has the call for such a thing, and they find the methods to share it. No. And of course there is not everybody thinks the same way. And the third thing that I learned, that because I am a foreigner, I am not Japanese, but I work in Japanese society for a long time. And what I noticed is that for the Japanese professors and for the students, giving out the knowledge as a contribution to the world is the most natural thing that they found very difficult to identify how it can truly fit within the framework of social responsibility. So yes, university is made for doing the contribution. So then everything is a contribution on the eyes of the Japanese professors and the Japanese students and the researchers. So they found difficult to identify, oh yes, this contributes directly with society, because on their eyes, it's so natural that everything should contribute to society naturally. So hard to identify for themselves. And some of them just, they are not much interested, to be honest, they are not much interested on visibility. They are much more interested into the results. And that is something that I admire very much. That's why I'm here for so long, I guess.
Thank you very much, Dr. Paula. Thank you. Yes, just we received the question. Yes, Dr. Paula, we got one question.
Sure.
Yes, or you can read, or I can
read it. Yeah. Is there any example of engaged research that Kyoto University is collaborating with other universities outside Japan? If so, where is the funding coming from? Yes. First, I would like to say that yes, Kyoto University collaborates with other universities outside Japan. We have offices overseas. We have North American Center, which is in charge of the regional area development of collaborations. We have ASEAN Center. Kyoto University has a historical relation with universities in Southeast Asia. And the projects that are done in there are remarkably established within Southeast Asia. So we also have European Center. And what I'm trying to say by mentioning where we are located is because we are having offices that are administratively supporting the research in those areas. Now, the second part of the question is, where is the funding coming from? And I have to say at that point that the funding comes from different sources. Some of the funding comes from Kyoto University itself through the program of strategic partnership. Please visit our website, Kyoto University Strategic Partnership, to have a look into what is the financial aid that is offered through our partner universities and Kyoto University. Other parts of the funding are coming from the governments, which have competent funds that are for competence. So people have to apply and get the grants eventually. Other funding is coming from enterprises that are collaborating with the development. Please, if you have the chance, look into JASTIP, J-A-S-T-I-P, JASTIP, which is an initiative that puts together industry and academia for a sustainable future. There is just roughly where the resources come from to answer to the question.
Thank you very much for your answer. Thank you. And are there any questions? Right. So, yes, this moment, as I mentioned before, the video is, uploaded on the website of USRN. So later, the other audience can also, get access to it. And if you have a question, the audience have a question, you can ask, contact Dr. Paola, and Dr. Paola kindly answer the questions, no?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
You can also just go to the website of Global Social Responsibility that I just shown right before. And please, if you have any suggestion or you want to establish contact with the professors who are in charge of these projects, I'm also glad to be the connection and facilitate communication.
That sounds great. Yes, thank you. So now it's getting, the time is getting up. So I would like to close the webinar for today. Yes, before closing, I would like to thank all of you for joining us today. Dr. Paola, for your rich presentation in cooperation with our motivated colleagues and amazing students who kindly presented information on the project, and the USRN Secretariat, especially to Miss Miranda for your great support. And I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you very much indeed for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you.